something. Good evening, Boozeketeers. Hey, it's Tuesday night, and I'm Tiki King, and you know what that means? It's Cocktales with Tiki King. And hey, we are here tonight at Salt Lake City's own Boozetique for a very, very special episode. Why is it special? Well, I invited a few of my friends down here, and I got them some pretzels, and I brought booze, and I was kind of hoping some of them would show up. And, well, they did. And they're right out here. All right, well, welcome to episode 85. I think, I'm not entirely certain. I always have to go back and look at the YouTube uploads to actually know what's going on. And I do that later, usually a couple days later. By then I've sobered up and I can actually put numbers in and that sort of thing. So what are we doing tonight? Well, we're doing the same thing we always do. We're going to make some drinks and talk about drinks and have some drinks. And we already got started. I think a few of you out there, everybody's doing okay? Oh, yeah. All right. So what are we talking about tonight? I know CJ is saying you should be talking less and drinking more, because that's what he always says. I don't know if it's Boozeketeer CJ out there. Probably. But don't worry, because I already did. I already got started. And so we're talking tonight about making booze for people, because people like to drink booze, from what I understand. Those are people who drink booze. We do. That's what I was told anyway. So there's a thing, right, where anyone who makes drinks knows about when you're making drinks that you got to make them. And sometimes, if you're like me, you know, they say, hey, why don't you get me a glass with some booze and ice in it? And then I'm like, 3 days later going, I'm still distilling the bitters, So sometimes you can get complicated, but that's okay, because some drinks are complicated. And, if you're making something for yourself, so tonight, we're making a drink of my own devising, which I will demonstrate right here, right now. So we're going to start standard, shaker about half filled with ice. In there, we're going to be putting, so I'm just doing with like if I was bartending at my luau, which usually my bartenders wouldn't let me in at the luau because I made drinks too strong and drank all of them. But usually, I wasn't like, we would have recipes for, like zombies and Mai Tais and all those things up there, and have all the stuff, and they'd be making stuff, and I was like in too big of a hurry. So this is basically what my go-to drink would be if I was at the luau. So what we start with is we've got some orange pineapple coconut juice. I'm going to put a few ounces of that in there. As you can tell, I'm very meticulous about my measurements. We got some cocoa real, which is cream of coconut that's sweetened. We're going to put about 3/4 of an ounce of that in there. We're going to use some limes. And I'm going to use a half a lime, which is 2/4 for those of you who are into fractions. Or math teachers. Either one. I don't discriminate. So we got that, which equates to, I think it's about not quite a third of an ounce. But you can use, you're going to get crazy about it. You throw the lime wedge in there with it. And then some bitters, which tonight we're using, supplied here by Ivy at the Boozetique. We're using some Fee Brothers cherry bitters. My normal go-to is Peychaud's bitters, the orange bitters, Angostura, that sort of thing. But I was intrigued by the cherry because I thought that would, we're not using cherries as a garnish tonight. So I thought maybe using some cherry bitters would bring in that nuance that you might usually get from the cherry. So we're going to put a couple dashes of that in there. Alrighty. And, yeah. Now we say, is one too many? Is two enough? So, they said, yeah, you just poured a bunch of booze in there. How do you even know what you're doing? Well, I'll tell you. This is another thing we talked about on other shows. Speed pourers. These are one of the best things you can have if you're bartending in a situation where you need to be able to pour quick. And you don't necessarily want to sit and measure every time unless you're actually in a bar where they're keeping track of all that sort of thing. But if you take a speed pourer, what you can do is before you start using it, they're all slightly different. You might get to know different brands, different colors, sizes, that sort of thing. But before you get started, you take your speed pourer and you take your measuring cup and you pour until you get to 1 ounce and you count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually the ones that are slow pourers, 5 is going to be about 1 ounce. Fast pourers, about 3.5 is an ounce. So you can get pretty accurate. A recipe like this does not matter accuracy-wise at all. But if you're doing something like a Mai Tai where you want something a little closer, or a martini, of course, which you wouldn't be using a speed pourer on the vermouth, so it really doesn't matter. I'm talking nonsense, which is okay. So that's why, yeah. Once you get to know your speed pourers, I had my bar in the basement, and I bought the same brand of speed pourers all the time. All the bottles had the same ones because I knew that's things. Mine was a 4. Count of 4 was 1 ounce, and you can, of course, if you're doing the bigger the drink, you need 8. You need 2 ounces. Count to 8. You're doing 2 bottles at once, 2 ounces. So it's pretty easy if you don't mind doing a little math and trusting that you're sober enough to count consistent speed, which usually not, but you know. So, oh wait, I bought this pineapple for a reason. Look at that. It's a drink, and how long did that take me? Even without my yammering, I'd say that was a few minutes. That's, which is fine, like I said, if you're sitting around home and you got nothing better to do, hey, I mean, you know, I would say actually make something quick, make a highball first, drink that while you're making your drink that's complicated. Oh, there we go. And you can't go wrong that way. But, so that's the thing, so if you're hardening it up at the heart of the firestorm, you can't be taking time to be doing all that stuff, is the thing. So, I'll tell you what you can do. Which is what I did, but we're going to do it again for those who weren't paying attention. And we're going to show an even actual slightly faster method that I learned watching the bartenders at Frankie's Tiki Room in Las Vegas. Because another thing, when you're making drinks for a bunch of people, depending on what it is that you're making, how do you know exactly how much, when you put it in a shaker half full of ice and that sort of thing, which is great when you got, you know, a big glass and you don't care if there's leftovers, because you're going to drink that too, so who cares? But if you're making drinks for a bunch of people, you have to know what's going to fit in the glass so when you go on to the next one, you don't have a bunch of overflow, right? And I thought, I mean, yeah, you can get to where you know, okay, well, this glass holds this much without ice, half full of ice. And once again, more math. If you're a teacher, great. If you're like me, then you know, it's all up there in the dream time. But what you can do, I'm going to let you in on something that the other tour guides might not tell you. So, we have a glass. You fill it with ice. And people will say, yeah, that's fine, if you're going to be doing that. But now I also have, this is a jug that I pre-mixed earlier. And now pre-mixing, depending on who you ask, they're going to either say never or they're going to say, who cares? But the thing is, if you're going to pre-mix, this here is all the juices and the bitters. There's no alcohol in it because the alcohol, as longer it sits mixed, is going to change the profile of the drink. But the juices generally are not going to change enough to make a difference in a party situation. Once again, if you're making craft cocktails, yeah, you want to keep everything separate. If you're going for getting everybody drunk as fast as you can, it's probably not going to matter. So, so we got our glass, we got our ice, we got our juice in there. We got 1.5 ounces of the booze, which fits nicely in the glass. Ooh, it's got some ice dittery from my drink. See, it's got some leftovers and some overflow. What we do in and back, and we have one full mixed drink ready to go. That was somebody's.
It's a lucky winner here.
Was it back there? Either come forward or we'll hand it back, one way or the other. Does anyone need? Since I'm doing this, anyone need a refill yet? He's holding up his wine bottle. You want to fill that? Oh, you have a question? Yes, sir.
So, being in Salt Lake, I don't drink often, but when I do, I have to hide it in a Gatorade bottle. Are you saying I shouldn't premix the alcohol in that bottle? It changes the composition. If you
depends on how long it's going to
3 hours to a concert or something.
For something like that, you're not going to care. Are you? Have you?
Haven't in the past.
What? Yeah.
But I was wondering if I should be concerned.
Well, no. It depends. It depends on how picky you are. Once again, I'm just saying that if if you're going to be laying in, say you're like, okay, well, I'm bartending this party, I'm here for 8 hours, and I got 4 of my friends, so we're going to go through 36 gallons of booze. And you want to have these just like your juice and your core, your mixer, basically. So it kind of reduces it to almost a highball, because then you're just going boom, alcohol, shake, done. Otherwise, like I said, when you got this juice and you got that, you got the squeeze, you got all the different things. This just eliminates a little bit of a step to speed things up, only for the essence of serving as many people as you can, as fast as you can. There's a friend of mine, Martin, he runs a bar called Forbidden Island in San Francisco. Or not Forbidden Island, that was his first bar. Smuggler's Cove. And it's this just fantastic tiki pirate themed bar. But he is a stickler. And it's like a circus show when you go down there, if you can sit at the bar, because everything is measured, everything's fresh squeezed, all the juices are separate, it's like, these guys are like an octopus playing the drums, It's like all over the place. But everything is very meticulous. And I'll tell you, you know it when you drink their drinks, because every one of them, they're just spot on and they're delicious. But that's not a party situation, that's where people are coming in and laying down big bucks to get a finely crafted cocktail. Which, if you guys want to, pay me a lot of money for drinks, you can, but that's up to you. But no, it's if you're going somewhere, yes. Oh, new drink, yeah, come on.
Open drink.
So I see my own rules and I forget what they mean. It's like, here, make this hand gesture and then do this, and then I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. It's like I want. Did you bring a glass up? Did you bring your glass up? No. There you go. You are welcome. So yeah, if you're taking a drink somewhere, if you got to hide stuff. So first let's deconstruct this sentence. I'm sneaking my booze into an event in a Gatorade bottle. How concerned should I be about pre-mixing? Not at all.
Kind of defeats the booze.
I figure, so I've got a quart of rum soaked in newspaper that I'm going to carry in. I wouldn't be that concerned with that sort of thing. But if you're I'll tell you, I have some friends who, whenever they're going out on vacation, they'll actually, he actually is a nut about gin and tonics. And it's very specific about bitters and all these things. But if he's in a hurry, he'll premix all of his tonic stuff, squeeze lime, the whole bit, and make jugs of it to take to events.
I'll do that.
And he'll take a flask of gin and mix them on the fly there. When I was saying that it changes the flavor, you don't want to have it sitting somewhere unrefrigerated with the alcohol and everything in it, because it'll warm up and it'll change the whole thing. If you're at a party and you're going through these pretty fast, not gonna matter at all. So there we go. Whew. Yeah, I'm glad I could assuage your fears, because that is one of those things that will keep someone up at night drinking, as it does to me. I know I work. Sometimes I'll stay up all night long drinking and worrying about you guys and whether or not you're drinking.
Worry no more.
I have to.
So nice.
Is it someone needs more booze? I see hands being. I see fingers being pointed. I see.
Always.
Oh yeah.
I'll take it.
So, what was that? What is? Oh yeah. So, one of the things which is making all this possible is this handy, hopefully waterproof cover for this fine bar at the Boozetique. Here at the Boozetique, you can get all this fine stuff. Ivy has graciously loaned us the speed pourers, the shaker. Actually, this fine tiki glass that I'm drinking out of, you can get this here at the Boozetique. A wonderful thing.
And the bar cart.
And this
My
bar
goodness,
cart.
yeah.
Bar cart.
With the lovely ship.
And I've painted it myself. It's a Japanese.
Yeah, and this bar cart, this is actually really cool. It all folds out. It's like an origami, but out of wood. It's fantastic. Is everybody enjoying their rum drinks?
Yes.
Now, does anyone know, anyone out there?
She needs another one though. I noticed she's a lush.
It's good. I can't help it.
It's okay. We're not judging you.
If it's too much, just tell me. I understand.
It's,
Oh,
come on up.
that. That's crazy. Wait, whose is this?
That was hers.
You just didn't come get it.
What's in the tiki bottle?
What's in the tiki what? Oh, the tiki bottle. This is pisco, which is a fine drink from Peru. Is that correct? Yeah.
Oil sours.
Pisco sours. Yeah, that's the class drink. I know. Actually, Ivy was one. I couldn't find anything. She was like, "What can I make out of pisco other than a pisco sour?" And I scoured the internet, and pretty much everything says pisco sour. But I'm assuming when I tasted it wasn't overly characteristic. I mean, it wasn't like it couldn't be used for other things. Kind of like cachaça, which is similar to rum, but with a little different bite to it. You can adapt it to other things, but it seems like the national drink of Peru is just a pisco sour, so that's what people just go with that.
It's what to drink
you need a
with
napkin?
guinea pig.
Ah, roasted guinea pig.
Yeah, it
Napkins?
goes with guinea pig.
Yeah, but it does come in this fine tiki-shaped bottle, which is one of the few boozes that actually does okolehao from Hawaii, if you can still get it. Sometimes you can find it in thrift stores and the booze is still in it. Yeah. I'll tell you, you can drink it, but when you wake up, tell them Tiki King sent you. Yeah, this is one of the few that's still available in a tiki-shaped bottle, which is pretty awesome. But have to do some research and find out some good pisco. We'll do a whole episode on pisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get pisco. Pisco would be good. Was there someone else who needed more booze? You? Producer Maggie?
Yes.
One, two, three, four. Okay.
Oh, one more note on the pisco sours.
Yes.
They add egg white and they beat it.
Oh yeah, well
So
like
it's a
a
frothy, thick drink.
like a whiskey sour, like an old style whiskey sour.
Yeah.
Which you can still. So that's another thing is that so we did an episode 3-4 episodes back, doing whiskey sours traditional way with egg whites, and when you're using raw eggs, one of the things, and anyone who has chickens can correct me if I'm wrong, but the problem is not that there's salmonella in the egg product, but it's on the shell. And there's a couple ways you can kill salmonella. One is to raise it to a temperature above 72 degrees for, I believe, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days. You know, you have chickens. Right?
Meat, well, or,
It doesn't survive after a certain amount of time.
or just be Rocky Balboa.
There you go. Or just don't worry about it, and you know, oh, salmonella, huh? There's a drink for someone who needs one. Another one coming up. Yeah. Come on up. But what I was getting to, I think, was that you can actually get pasteurized egg whites if you're leery about using raw eggs and you're kind of freaked out about it. Thank you. You can buy little milk carton things that have egg whites in them that are you don't have to worry about that. It's not going to give you salmonella. It's all going to be groovy. And it's still got ice in it. But yeah, we did some whiskey sours that way actually when we were in Sedona, and they were so good. When I woke up, I said, "Those were good." Your turn.
I love that some of the people here are actually watching the show right now.
Commented.
This is so meta.
Did she get hers? I wasn't paying attention. Wow,
We did it.
that was exciting.
That one is Ivy's. Can I make sure Ivy's taken care of?
Thank you.
You guys need another one?
I have,
Good question.
can I just get the mixer with no booze?
Yes, you can. Of course, of course.
I know, I'm a weird one, but you
I mean, I don't understand what that
really
means
do not-
actually, but
You don't want my blood sugars to go too wacky. Most of some of these people in the room have seen that happen, and they don't want to see it again. Awesome, thank you.
you're welcome.
That's mine, by the way.
Well, it's yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Any comments about
Yes, you can.
You need.
so So, drinks without alcohol, in Utah they call them mocktails, and you can make anything.
Yes.
You can make anything without booze, and it's a mocktail.
Yeah.
You can make all this.
One of the hard ones, which I worked on a recipe, it's on my website, was for a Mai Tai mocktail, which using the traditional recipe is difficult because it's pretty much just all booze. So eliminating the booze,
Whiskey and Coke is.
that one would be
That
hard.
one. Next.
Whose is this? This is yours.
That's mine.
Just trying to keep track of the glasses.
It's not good. Whoops.
So, yeah, something. Wasn't there something? I was going to say something. I was going to talk about something that was extremely important.
Mai Tais.
Mai
What
Tai.
about,
Oh yeah, so I experimented with actually using small amounts of vanilla and turbinado sugar to get some of that sort of rum essence. Because that's, whose is this? Is that yours? Don't spill it.
Try not to.
Yeah, drinks that call for a generous portion of rum. There's not a lot other than vanilla and molasses that has a similar note to it. And once again, if you're, if you can't have the booze, then you can't have the booze. And yeah, there's actually quite a growing culture of mocktails.
Yeah.
In fact, we were at games in games in Prescott, Arizona. They had like one of those food truck things, but it was a mocktail truck. And we thought, man, if we'd have brought booze, we could be totally drinking those.
Then it would be fun.
I know. It's terrible, but true. That's why it's funny, I guess.
And you'll be in Prescott.
And we'll be in Prescott in 3 weeks, 2.5
Yes.
weeks. Not this weekend. We're going to be in Tulsa, and then Kelso, and then we're coming back and going to Fresno, and then after Fresno is that Prescott?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there we'll be there. There we will be then. Now. Something like that.
That's in England, Utah, like where's Prescott?
Prescott is in Arizona. It's out in the. It's not by Phoenix. No, sir. No, ma'am. No. No, it's.
You know, sir, it's okay.
It's where is it? I know we go through Quartzsite, my favorite town. Out there, they got the Quartzsite. Who's been to Quartzsite? I'm sorry. Quartzsite. You know the great thing about Quartzsite is what's the guy's name? What's the bookstore? The Quartzsite bookstore.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name.
Quartzsite
The naked
Bookshop. I
piano
don't know,
player.
but there's a guy in there who plays piano naked. Just 'cause. Yeah. He's just in there walking. Hey.
His name is Baby. No.
No, you're thinking Baby Gramps. I
No,
haven't
it's
seen
something
Baby-
like that. It's something like that.
Well,
I
maybe.
can't
I
remember.
I
don't
need
know.
the address.
Yes?
I need the address.
And,
Send it to
and
me.
what does he play the piano with?
Flair. Flair. I'm gonna say.
Does anybody else need a new drink? Did you guys need one? You guys are good?
Is it-
Driving?
No, he needs a cow. But yeah, Prescott, Arizona. It's funny because
It's apparently it's south of Flagstaff.
South of Flagstaff. Yes,
Someone
but-
from Arizona is saying
but
so.
north
Central
of-
Arizona.
North of Tucson, I would say. But yeah, we went there. It's funny because Quartzsite. We went to Quartzsite, and there's a book called The Quartzsite Trip, which I read in high school. It was this thing that was like, oh man, I thought, a bookstore in Quartzsite. I wonder if they have the Quartzsite. Go and buy the Quartzsite Trip in Quartzsite. But there was no naked piano player, and it was like 110 degrees, and they didn't have it. So we looked around for a little bit, and then made a hasty retreat back into the air-conditioned stench of the van. But Prescott, yeah. So look it up, go there, and don't say Prescott, because people will wiggle their eyebrows.
Kind of like if you say hurricane in this
Or if you
state
say- or
and you
you
don't
say,
say hurricane,
Gorilla.
people get angry.
Or we say Boise. Boise.
know about
Boise.
that.
I went to Boise once, and and they kept saying that they were hard asses about that. And I had no idea what they were talking about. But then it turned out, no, they weren't saying hard ass, they were saying hard S. Boise. I'd say, yeah, it's great to be here in Boise. Hard ass. Okay, it's great to be here in Boise. Hard ass. I'm like, great to be here in Boise. It wasn't quite getting it. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's a.
Drink more wine.
Drink
more wine.
Yes. Yeah, we found Lucky here. He came in swigging out of a bottle. It didn't even have a bag on it. I was like,
It was left
bag
over
on
from
it.
dinner. I can't throw it out.
Yeah, that's what you always say. I found him wandering in the desert with a half a bottle of wine. He's like, it's rum dinner. Don't judge me. It's ham.
From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they have a ham, they just keep it rum.
That's
It's a
ham.
rum ham. Yeah. It's funny.
Hurricane. What?
Hurricane.
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 Rock, you like hurricane.
I don't know. Somebody tried to type it out. I don't know what that means.
Well, so there you go. And I was gonna. So wait a minute. I had a question, and I asked it. I don't know if anybody answered me because I probably mumbled.
Say it again.
That's right.
Just ask it again.
What? Oh. So rum. So we're drinking rum. We're all drinking rum here. And I'm using two kinds of rum tonight. I'm using light and dark. It's not dark. This is actually gold, but it's on. They consider when they say rum, there's like light and dark. But I'm like, there's light, there's dark, there's over, there's like so many. But who can tell me what's the difference? Why is one light? Why is one dark?
Oh man.
I'm going to
Mr.
take
Lucky.
a shot.
Mr. Lucky.
You in the back.
You take a shot?
I'm going to take a shot. Actually.
Okay.
Can I get one? No, just from distilling personally, I know that it usually starts from aging it in a barrel. Is that how it was with rum? Because I've only done it with whiskey.
With Winky?
And occasionally.
No. Okay.
When you distill it, it comes out.
When you distill, yeah, it comes out clear. It can still be aged, but there's two ways that it becomes dark. One is from molasses. Sometimes they add caramel color. But there's more to that. But if I'd have studied more and drank less, I could probably tell you what it was. But I mean, you get a prize. How about that?
Oh, look at that.
You get a Tiki King instant luau kit.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. But that will save you in your times of trouble. That will, yeah, you can bribe cops with that. Well, you can try. I should probably augment that statement with we are not sponsored in any way by the Utah Police Force Association. And mentioning my name will not get you out of jail. I've tried. Trust me. But wasn't there more trivia? Didn't I say, give me trivia questions? And you said, mind your own business. Trivia.
Yeah.
That's how it always happens. That's how it always hears. Here. That's here. Wait. Take two. Didn't I say I had some trivia questions? No, I guess not. Well, that's how it always is here at the Tiki King cocktail. Take three. Didn't I say I had some trivia? Well, no. There you go. That's how it is on the Tiki King, the cock.
These drinks are great. Thank you.
These are good. As I often say, I am happy with the results. Okay, one more time. Take four. Didn't I have some trivia? No, you didn't. Why am I talking about that? Because that's how it goes here on the Cocktales Tiki King show. And with that, Boozeketeers, I'm going to cut my losses and say good night. And thank you all for tuning in. And thank you guys for coming in and drinking with me. And thank you, Isa. Thank you, Boozetique. And if you like things like this, be sure to come down to our sponsors and spend all of your money on the fine wares that they have here. But save just a little. Save $20 to buy yourself a bottle of fine booze to use all these tools with. And there you go. So with that, Boozeketeers, I want to say good night and good drinking. Everybody sing the theme song. No, you got to turn up.
Happy birthday.
We're too drunk to sing the theme song.
Are you done?
Am I still alive?
Yeah.
Bye. Shut it off.